Hello, welcome to this evening's Save and Serve presentation with Think Plus, powered by Think Plus for churches and affiliates and nonprofits. My name is Julius Weems, and I will be your host tonight. So if you don't mind, please announce yourself and where you're calling from tonight.
Anna Gallagher, Houston, Texas.
Welcome from Houston.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Kimbrough, Chi-Town.
Hey, Brian, what's up, my friend?
Robbie Bradford, Austin, Texas.
Hey, Robbie, welcome.
Thank you.
Paul and Eileen McMahon, Columbia, South Carolina.
Hello, Paul and Eileen. It's good to see you guys again.
Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome all of our guests, all of our affiliates that are currently on. Get a pen and piece of paper because we're going to go through this overview because we know that there's really something incredible that many of our churches, religious organizations, and nonprofit organizations are doing. You guys are serving a purpose in your community. Many of you are, we have nonprofit organizations that support families, support women, single moms, support housing. And to all of my churches and religious organizations, you are the heartbeat and backbone of your community. So tonight I'm going to share with you a program that literally is to help benefit each and every one of your members, as well as your organization, all with one activity. So I ask, go ahead and write down your questions. At the end, we'll take some time and we'll answer some questions. And I'll go over some frequently asked questions that come up as well. But we are at an interesting time. Right now we're looking at how do we help with increasing costs for our membership in their everyday life. Many of them cannot give as much as they were able to give before. And so how do we offset that so that your organization can continue to do the work that they were meant to do? And so my name is Julius Weems. I am a national energy advisor here at Think Plus. And this program that I'm sharing with you tonight, we call it Save and Serve. It is near and dear to my heart because I got to grow up in a church with my mother was a pastor, and I have 9 other pastors in my family. So I got to really see all different areas of churches. I also ran a youth football program with over 400 kids for a little over 7 years for my oldest son. And I was out there going from store to store and door to door to raise funds so that the kids, I could do everything from give kids backpacks for school to take the team certain places to celebrate different events. Also, we had kids that were unfortunate and underserved, and so we did a lot of things for them for Christmas. But we were raising money, we were raising funds, trying to figure out how to meet the need. And I believe that many of our churches and nonprofit organizations are trying to meet a need. And tonight, I just want to share with you a way that I believe is one of the most incredible ways to meet that need. At the end of the presentation, I am going to share something with you that Think Plus and the Think Plus community has just launched. And I will tell you, I believe it is just another incredible way for us to make change and meeting the needs of our community. So let's go and get started. Again, my name is Julius Weems. I'm calling you tonight from Weehawken, New Jersey. And I'm a father of 2 boys, Jabari and Julius the fourth. And also my lovely wife is Genevieve. And we are currently in New York because many of the affiliates know that my son is starring on Broadway and MJ the Musical. So we had to quickly shift from Florida to New York in the last 4 weeks. But this presentation that we do every Monday night. So if you're here tonight and you want to invite people back, every Monday night we're here at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central to talk about how to support organizations like yours. So who is Think Energy? Think Energy is a forward-thinking retail energy company that is really focused on one core thing. It is how do we make clean energy affordable and accessible to everyone? Right now, we have 144 million residences in the United States. So that means apartments and condos and homes, and all of your members live in those. and only 10% of the country can get renewable energy. So what do we do with the other 120 million, right? And Think Energy and our CEO decided to say he really wanted to understand how do we make a real impact. And so used technology and an incredible proprietary sales force to say, we're going to go out and we're going to touch the other 100 million people that need to get access to clean energy and renewable energy. This program I'm going to share with you tonight is very simple. It is a program that is focused on helping your membership first. Now, your membership, it doesn't matter if it's 50 or 5,000. We are leveraging a federal program that's going to allow your members to save 5 to 25% of their energy bill for 20 years. It is the first time in U.S. history that we've been able to guarantee the energy industry a savings. And so now each one of your members have the ability to save, but most people are not aware. Most pastors are not aware. Most religious leaders are not aware, and most nonprofit leaders are not. So our goal is to make them aware. And every time the member saves, the organization will be paid a donation. And every time that the member pays their bill every month, the organization is sent a residual donation that is going to go every month as long as that member is paying their bill. Now, here's the interesting part that was just announced in the company this weekend is that on the community solar piece that I'm going to talk to you about, the church would actually get a 20-year donation for every single member that joins the program. So why is this happening? I talked about community solar, the Inflation Reduction Act, which included money to develop a subscription-based solar program. And that program is really powerful because it's the first time that we could go to someone and talk about solar and they don't need to have solar panels on their roof. So community solar right now is in 11 states. And I'm going to talk to you about how it affects your membership depending on the state you're in. So in November of 2021, Think Plus, our CEO, Michael Falquist, was actually able to acquire a $100 million commitment from Oak Tree Capital, the largest sustainable energy investor in the country. He acquired Think Energy. He rebranded the company to relaunch Think Plus. And then we launched our Think Smart beta app, which launched in November of 2023. And then in February, we began to roll out community solar markets. But also, we began to look at how do we take this program and help your members all over the country. Here's a look at our leadership, and we had some promotions this weekend. We had our national convention, and so Michael Falquist, our CEO, who was recognized as the leader, one of the leaders in the country, he actually sold his first company for $500 million. And then once he did that, and he sold that company for $500 million, he also took another energy company to go public on the Toronto Stock Exchange. But it's so incredible because he's a young 47-year-old innovative entrepreneur who brought a team of incredible leaders to work with him. I will tell you, we have a powerful group of leaders. Brad Tales, our SVP, who really is about interacting with our community. Steve Condon, who runs our community solar business. Phil Santasetto, I always say Phil's name wrong, but Phil is a data scientist from Yale that I've got to spend time with him, play golf with him. But this guy has launched some of the leading tech companies in the world, and he just took on the role of president of Think Plus. But he's a data scientist, and he's always trying to see how do we help people utilizing data. And so some of the things I'm going to talk about tonight are going to be new, and this presentation will be updated next week with some of the new things that will be a part of Save and Serve. But I share this about our leadership team because you all as leaders of nonprofits, you as pastors of churches and religious organizations, leadership is so important because if you bring anything into your organization that is not able to help your membership, you put yourself at great risk. And growing up in the church, one of the things I realized was that my mother always had to be careful about what she allowed in the door. So I come to you today as we talk through this, really aware that we do have to be careful And what I'm sharing with you is that we have a company that has put something together that will allow your members to be safe. And that is so important, no matter what we talk about. It's important that each one of your members are able to save and benefit, and you will be able to, they will be able to benefit not just one time, but every single month and help their families. And by doing that, your organization is just going to reap an incredible reward from that, being able to bless people. So how many of your members use electricity? Of course, every one of them. And how many of those people in your membership want to reduce their electricity supply costs or even eliminate it entirely? Every one of them. And they said the second most requested uh, request from organizations next to rent and mortgage support is electricity. But remember, people will be in a foreclosed home, but keep the electricity on. People will be out of work, but find a way to keep their electricity on. So how can we find a way to help them cut that cost? So why should you look at this? If you are on tonight as a guest, you know, you like, why should I consider this? Because I'm sure that the people have come to you in your congregation, in your organization, for you to look at different things. And when I began to put together Save and Serve, my whole thought was this, is that if I was a pastor, a leader of a nonprofit, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, youth program, why would I consider this? Right? The value must be high enough for me to say, I'm going to take a chance. And so the reason why you should consider this program is, one, there's no extra fundraising activities that are needed from your members. And here's what I mean. Many of you are doing fundraising activities. You have fundraising activities that are um, that you're doing either quarterly, fundraising activities that you're doing, fundraising activities that you're doing monthly. You have fundraising activities that and with those activities, those fundraising activities that you're doing, you are looking to see, how do we make sure we have resources to fulfill our mission and vision? So when I looked at this program and rolling it out, my whole goal was this: how do I help the organization leadership make sure that they can build something one time in their organization that will allow them to have income every month for the next 20 years? And so this is money free fundraising all year long. There's not an activity where we have to ask for additional funding, offerings, or tithes. Now, here's what I'll say. Many members want to give to their organization. They have a desire. And after working with churches and nonprofits, people have a desire to give, but many times can't. So what I've done with Save and Serve, when I looked at this program, it was the person who wants to give, they can actually go help people, and they'll be given to their organization. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. All members qualify and are protected. Leaders are now helping the members first. To all of my leaders, my pastors, my leaders of nonprofits, your members are saving first. They're saving every month, they're saving immediately, and then the organization is being helped. The organization can see the impact immediately. The first disbursements are donations are made the following Friday after a member signs up. And you can invite the community to join the program. We have churches that are in the program that are literally, they have community fairs, they have fall festivals, they have Christmas festivals, and we are now able to educate them on this program, and they can benefit for 20 years as well. And so let's talk about how it works. So now let's get into some of the details. There are three things that every member can qualify for. Okay, these three things I'm going to go over with you, but I want to let you know up front. You can write this note down, that there is no contract and there is no termination fee. All right, for everything I'm going to share with you, your members are not locked into anything that's going to put them in a bad position or the organization. Number one is community solar. Now, when you say solar, most of you are probably thinking about solar panels on your roof. Community solar is a federal program that's been rolled out to every state. It is a guaranteed savings for at least 20 years, up to 20 years. And it is for everyone. If you live in an apartment, a condo, a townhouse, it does not matter. You qualify for this program and you can get this program. So how it works is this: there's solar developers that built community solar farms. Those community solar farms exist all around your state, right? So when you're riding down the highway and you see that big solar farm over to the right, that solar farm is producing energy all day. That energy is put back onto the local utility grid. And from that utility grid, we as customers can sign up for community solar in our state and we get access to a imagine you see 10 solar panels on a solar farm. Imagine getting a piece of that solar farm and that energy is yours. And you don't have to go through some guy knocking on your door. You don't have to get a credit check to get solar panels. You don't have to finance $50,000 to put solar panels on your roof. And if you don't own a home or you live in an apartment, you can't do that anyway. But now you get you get full access to solar energy, which is cheaper. You get access to it every single month for 20 years guaranteed. But this is not a Think Plus program. This is a federal and state program that laws have been passed that guarantee the savings. Now listen to what I'm saying is that it is a guaranteed legal savings for 20 years. And I have people to say, Julius, it's hard to believe. And so what I do is that I'll go to their state. If you're, and I use the state Maryland, for example. In Maryland, Maryland is one of our community solar states. We're going to go over the map in a moment. But you can go to Maryland Community Solar and you will see that there's law 1152 down in Annapolis, Maryland, that was passed, which made community solar a law in the state. So we're not talking about a program that can be just taken away from you. This is a program that's been locked in with laws so that your members, when you're bringing this to your membership, you can have a conversation and you can show them, hey, this is a benefit that you already qualify by living here in the state. And imagine you have 100 members that are saving on 5 to 25% of their energy bill for 20 years. And that's the conversation we need to have, because we can adopt families for Thanksgiving. We can adopt families for Christmas. We do it every year. But if I can help cut $500 a year out of their electricity or $2,000 a year out of their electricity bill, that's impact. And so that is why I get excited about this program. And it's free to enroll. Number one, a 5 to 25% discount on credits for up to 20 years. And that depends on what state you're in. There's nothing to buy or install. There's no rooftop required, and even renters qualify. Remember, people always ask me to explain how do we explain it in the churches when we go to churches. And many times when I speak at different churches, what I say to them is that community solar is solar without solar panels. And people are like, oh, okay, I've never heard of that. And it's about educating our membership. And I'll talk about rolling this out in your organization and what that will look like as well. So here's the current service map for community solar. This is the first part of this program that I want you to know. So when you look at the service map, these are the states that have already passed their laws, okay? These states have passed their community solar law. The other states that still have legislation and law, they're in the middle of passing their laws. But what we're gonna see is that the rest of the country will begin to open up their community solar program. There was $7.9 billion spent for all the states, and these programs are now being rolled out across the country. The target for the end of 2025 is 5 million people on community solar. Now, 5 million people would save the country about $1 billion in energy costs, based on a report that the Department of Energy came out with. So the very first value is community solar. And if you're writing notes, I want you to write this down. Community solar is a guaranteed savings program. It is the first time in the energy industry we could actually say the word guaranteed legally. Okay. There's no other program that has ever been able to guarantee savings in this industry. So now we're going to talk about retail energy. And I'm going to talk about retail energy from the standpoint of why is it so special when it comes to Think Plus? Because some of us on the call, we understand retail energy. Some people have signed up for retail energy providers and ended up in bad positions. They signed up and they got into a program that promised lower costs. And then what happened after a few months in that program, their energy costs went up. And I want to address that because I can't bring something in my church doors or in my nonprofit organization doors if it's going to hurt my members. And Michael Falquist understood one thing. He says, look, we're going to have fixed prices. We're going to have fixed rates so people know have a predictable cost. But then what we're going to do is that we're going to now go across the country and we're going to make sure that we can now offer more value. So old energy monopolies are broken up. In many states, customers could choose their supply of energy, and some people did, and they had bad experiences. They have the same utility company, same billing, and no disruption. So what did we do? Why is Think Plus different? So here's our market. Here are our markets for our retail energy product. I'm so excited because what we're rolling out across the country is the ability to have not only fixed prices, but we will be rolling out an incredible technology called Think Smart that will allow us to share our profit with the customer. Now, I won't get into the technology of it, but I'm going to share this. Imagine your member, a member of your church, is able to now be able to make changes in habits. For example, maybe changing their thermostat up 1 degree or down 1 degree. And that would actually, if they're a Think Energy customer, Think Energy would actually make a profit, right? But what if we split that profit into savings for the customer? So what we've done, and this will be rolled out over at the beginning of the year. We actually are testing in some markets, but we'll be aggressively launching in Texas, is our Think Smart app, where every customer will have the ability to be able to link their smart thermostat to Think Plus and earn an additional $10 off per month, which ultimately comes down to about 5 to 10% additional than the savings they already get. So the idea of this is the first in history where we are using AI and data science to be able to help members save even more money. It is the most incredible implementation that we've ever seen. Our CEO said we need to help people. We need to make sure they're safe, and you needed to make sure your members are safe. So one of the things we've done this year, though, is that for every customer that comes in, we actually protect 50 trees and rainforests around the world, because you got to give back. We are truly a company that believes that we must make impact, and social impact matters. And so we actually have protected a little over, we just learned a new number, 5.1 million trees around the world. And coming up next, what we're going to be offering in the new year we've been partnered with One Tribe all year, but in the new year, we are going to be launching a program called Think Local. Now, this program, I didn't have the new slides for it. I'll have it next week. But Think Local for our Save and Serve organizations is going to be incredible, because for every single customer that comes into your organization and comes into Think Energy, we're going to put $10, or we call community cash, aside so that we can have community programs. Now, imagine your church or your nonprofit has a missionary trip that's coming up, or your organization is trying to raise money for uniforms, or your nonprofit is trying to help young women, single moms, with food, or a youth program. Well, for every customer, this year we supported One Tribe and we planted 50 trees for every single customer that came in. Well, with Think Local, we're going to give $10 in community cash for every customer that comes in, and we're going to fund hundreds of thousands of programs like the ones at your churches and nonprofits. So what does that look like? Imagine your organization comes in. Imagine your organization signs up to be an affiliate here at Think Plus, and we actually, your congregation is actually signing up to be customers through the program with your organization. For every customer, it is going to generate what we call community cash, and that community cash can be used for programs inside your church. Now, this is not the serve part of the presentation. This is just a program that will give an additional value to all of our nonprofits and all of our churches. I will have much more detail on this next week. on our call, but I'm super excited about it because we're going to be able to do two things with one activity. Every customer gets $100 gift card that they will get once they've been with us for 6 months. So every member in your church and organization will get this a gift card once they've been a customer for 6 months. They will get the same energy bill. That energy bill, and that energy bill will be the same, and I'll have think as a line item on the bill. The only market that this is different will be in the market of Texas, which all of my Texas folks know that they have, when in Texas, they actually will get a Think Plus bill. The final thing I'm going to talk about is our Free Energy Club, which the Free Energy Club is such a powerful program. And our CEO and our team has done so much to make sure that there's real value. And that value continues here. I want you to imagine that every one of your members could just refer 3 customers to the program, and we're going to give them 10% of their bill back every month as a cash reward. So if your bill's $300, we'll give you refer 3 customers one time, you get a $30 cash reward every month for referring those 3 customers one time. Then when you refer 10 customers, we're going to give you 40% of your bill every month for referring those 10 customers. And you just did it one time. And then imagine your member referring to one of your members referring 20 customers and getting 100% of their energy supply costs back every month in a cash reward. This program has such impact because when you talk about, folks that are in organizations and you're cutting their costs by $2,000 a year. Imagine $2,000 a year coming back into your members' homes and they didn't have to pay anything for that. So we've talked about 3 things. We've talked about community solar, which is a guaranteed program, guaranteed savings. We are a provider of this federal program. 2, retail energy. With retail energy, it's fixed predictable cost. And with our new Think Smart app, we will be competing in a big way in every market to lower prices. But our Free Energy Club makes your member will never leave Think Plus, because literally we are now paying them every month on a bill they're going to pay for the rest of their life. And so that is what we offer to your members. That is what your members get. And there's a reason why this is all happening right now, because we're in a massive transition to renewable energy in this country, for many reasons, but ultimately it is happening. It's going to be happening over the next 10 to 20 years. There's increased demand, and then, due to global instability, the demand is driven by the fact that we are at a time where right now where we have electric car production is up to over 400%. By the end of 2025, every manufacturer will have an electric car in their fleet. We'll have a sub $20,000 electric car coming out next year. So the demand is just very high. Global instability with wars around the world are impacting our ability to import oil and natural gas. So this is a big part of why this is happening right now. So now I've talked to you about what your members get. So that's the save portion of the presentation. But what happens when your members save? And if you have a pen and paper, please write one circle and write save. And under that save, write guaranteed savings with community solar federal program, $7.9 billion, guaranteed savings for your member for 20 years. Number 2, fixed rates with retail electricity. And number 3, free energy club. Now, as a leader, if you gave that to your member, in the chat, just go ahead and put a 1 if you have members that would benefit from that. If you have members that would benefit from a guaranteed savings for 20 years, fixed price, lower cost that they can count on, and a free energy club, put a 1 in the chat for me. Because no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, this value is high enough and safe enough that we should be helping people. And I told you I grew up in churches. My cousin went to Oral Roberts University, Apostle Cheryl Wade, and she was out in the Midwest, New York, where my aunt had churches, and my cousin had a church, my mother down in Baltimore and Virginia and North Carolina. And so I saw behind the scenes as far as well as in front. And I know that if I went to any of their churches and we could say we have 100 members getting $50 a month back from their energy company. We have 150 members getting savings for 20 years on their energy bills with community solar. That is the message of impact that I know that my own family churches and in my youth programs, if I could help all my families who were buying uniforms and buying snacks every week, if I could help them with an extra $50 to $100 a month in their home off their electric bill so that they can help their kids and be in these youth programs, it would be worth it. So what I ask is that tonight you just be open-minded to listen to something different, because what I find is that sometimes we won't bring something to people who need it because we have our own ideas. And so clarity is what I want to make sure everybody has tonight before you leave. And so the last part of this is the serve portion. Okay, now it's all my pen and paper folks, get your pen and paper. So I want you to write this down. Now you have an organization, you have a church or nonprofit. Your church or nonprofit becomes an affiliate with Think Plus. Your members can get all of those benefits. Let's say you have 100 members, and when a member signs up for retail electricity, the organization gets a donation of $20. When they sign up for community solar, they get a donation of $60 to $120, depending on what state they're in. There's tier 1, 2, and 3 states, 60 to 120. I'm going to use Maryland right now. It's an $80 market. Now, on electricity, the organization will earn residual. And just announced this weekend is that they will also earn residual on community solar. So let's run a scenario together. You have an organization that has 100 members, right? Those members sign up for electricity and they sign up for community solar. The organization then earns $10,000 one time in that scenario. Then 100 members, and your members go out with a mission to help 3 people that they know, love, and trust. That's 300 people in the church, in an organization's program. That's $30,000. And now 100 members that help 5 is $50,000. Now these are one-time bonuses, and sometimes programs, projects, mission trips, that's all year long. So what do we do next? So now I want to talk about same scenario, but we're going to break it down a little bit in a little bit more detail, okay? Especially for my folks that maybe your organization is not in a community solar market. Maybe you're in Texas. Maybe you're in a market that doesn't have community solar yet, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what does it look like if you're in a market with community solar or without community solar. So you enroll 100 retail electricity customers and you get $20. The organization gets $20. It's $20 per customer. That's $2,000. And then there's a milestone funds when they hit certain levels of customers. That's $200. So that's $2,200 to the organization. But here's the part that gets very exciting. Depending on how much energy each customer uses every month, that's $100 to $7,200 that comes to the organization every month for the next 10 to 20 years. But then remember we talked about the free energy club? What if every member wanted to get free energy? And so you have your 100 electricity customers. They want to get free electricity. So they all go get 20. They all go get 20 customers so they can get free electricity. That turns that residual into 2,000 customers. So now that monthly residual goes from 2,000 to almost $10,000 a month in residual. Let's run another scenario. Let's say you enroll 100 electricity and community solar customers. So one customer can join with electricity and community solar. That would be $100. That's $10,000 to the organization. Once the organization hits 200 customers, it's another 700. one-time funds of 10,700, but now we're talking about monthly funds every month. And this is the part that, could your organization use an extra 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 7,000 a month on the members paying for electricity that they're going to pay anyway? And this last one here, this is your organization enrolls. So I have some big organizations in this, and they enroll 1,000 electricity and community solar customers. It's $100,000, $2,700 milestone fund. That's $102,000 to the organization, with nobody having to come out of their pocket. And that's $1,072,000 a month. Why does this program work so well? It's because every single member is getting a benefit, no matter if they sign up for electricity, community solar, the free energy program. Every one of your members is in a position to be able to help their family, help themselves. And by doing that, they are serving the church. And so this is the first time I've been able to talk about a company and know that the members at my cousin Cheryl's church are okay. The members at my cousin Zeb's church in New York are okay, because we literally are leveraging we have a company that said we're not going to do it like it's been done. We have broken all the rules to say, look, no, we're not going to give a cheap rate and then watch the rate go up. We're not gonna get customers in and then change things up on them. And so to all of my organizations that are on, I want you to understand you can feel safe that your members are safe, because there's no contract, there's no termination fee, and each and every one of your members can benefit from this program. And so here's where we are today. Right now we have 11 states that are in community solar. You can see those here. And then we have 13 states that are part of our retail electricity program. We're only 18 months old. And so I'm excited to see the growth of this program over the next 12 months. We will see the rest of the country open up with community solar and retail electricity. And we're so excited about that. So what I'm going to do is that now talk about, how does the church become an affiliate, right? How do we, and this is this part where everybody's always like, Julius, I was waiting for like this big aha, or this big I got you kind of thing. I said, well, my mother's a pastor. My mother who passed away in 2020. God bless her. So he says, listen, don't play with pastors, because they'll pray over you. So here's what I'll tell you, is that it is only $59 for your organization to sign up. Now, when I looked at this, I said, wow. I said, so for $59, the church gets a website. They get a back office to track every customer. They also get marketing materials, and we have a program called Copilot, where they will get an 800 number where their members can call and get signed up and ask questions. So for $59 a year for the first year, and then $149 for each additional year. Now, here's the thing. It just takes 1 or 2 members to actually pay for the $59. So 1 or 2 members saving pretty much pays for the program to be set up within the organization. There's no monthly cost at all. And when we begin to onboard, which I'll talk about in a moment, is that we always tell organizations to assign somebody to this. We tell pastors, give us, many times I end up talking to the financial leaders in the church. I talk to the pastor's armor bearer or administrator, and we assign somebody to this program, the community energy program. If I'm working with a nonprofit, I ask them to assign somebody to it. We educate them, get them set up. We get flyers set up for the members. We answer questions so people can feel safe. And then when an organization rolls this out, the greatest part is when they realize we can grow the finances of our organization by helping people save. It explodes. It just explodes as a program. It explodes in ways we never expected. And what we realized is that we are giving back at a level that we've never been able to give back before, because everybody in the program is benefiting. Every member is benefiting. the organization is able to do more work than they've been able to do in the community. And then they're getting a residual income every single month for decades. And that is so exciting to me. And, I really wish this program was around 15, 20 years ago for when I was running around in Fulton Street in Maryland, where my mother's church was. We did everything from bake sales to car washes to, oh man, selling plates to selling cake after church. I mean, we did everything to raise money for programs, right? To help family with food, to help mom, to help people. And we needed a program like this where I could go out in the community and educate people and save people in the community, help them save on their energy bill, lower their costs, low to moderate income. We have a special program for low to moderate income families that need this. And when I realized how major this was, that is when I sat down with our leadership and I said, I want to create a program called Save and Serve. My vision is 10,000 churches over the next 12 months and 10,000 nonprofits. And so we're on that journey. It's been incredible. We have churches that have onboarded in New Jersey. We have churches that have onboarded in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're not even in Georgia yet. We have churches in Maryland, in Washington, D.C., and we also are working with the AME Church up in the Northeast. So it's been very exciting to see how the program is being rolled out. So with that, I'm going to stop. I want to open up for questions. Illinois, yes, sir, Brian. Yes, we listen to all my folks in Illinois. Illinois is such an incredible market. I won't get into technicalities, but it is a great market for this program. Maryland, New Jersey. But if you have pastors, and pastors always know pastors, so reach out to pastors and let's talk about them. I see Miss McMahon with your Think Local shirt on. I love it. I love it. Think Local. We are gonna, guys. I'm sorry I did not have the Think Local slide in here. I am updating our presentation for next week because Think Local. Out of all the things I shared, imagine on top of that being able to have one of your programs in your church sponsored, and in addition to the money that's coming in. So I will have more detail on it next week. I promise. I got back late last night. So, but I'm going to open up some questions and then I'm going to go over questions that I've gotten on previous calls as well. So if you have questions, you can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and we can talk about it. Or I'll go over my list. I do a list on a couple of calls. So let me go over some questions that I get from leaders, from members. Number one is there a cancellation fee if a member cancels? There is no cancellation fee for the member. I will say in Texas, and I always do this caveat with Texas, because we are a retail, we are a full retail provider. That means we write the bill, we send the bill in Texas, okay? In Texas, there will be a contract in Texas. And so there's some benefits around that and how we do it, but also we have some programs such as Rate Buy Down in Texas, and also with Think Smart, which is going to allow us to do some big things at making sure that bill's lower and our rates are better. I'm really going to end up probably doing a Save and Serve just for Texas, okay? And so that'll be coming shortly. For this program, is it $100 per bill or does it pay out whatever the state pays out? It pays out whatever the state pays out. The scenario I did was the $20 on retail electricity, and depending on what tier the state is, it's $60 to $120. So if there's a church in Maine, that church is going to get $120 plus $20. If it's in Maryland, it'll be 80 and 20. If it's in Illinois, it'll be 60 and 20. And so based on the market, what makes up a nonprofit in addition to a church? It can be, and I said the word nonprofit, but it's an organization. It does not have to be a 501c3. It does not. It can be an organization. It can be a group. And the whole goal is that it is the group would sign up, the group would sign up, and then it would educate its members to join under the group. So thank you for that. Yes, it can be. So yes, it can be. Well, now our cab is paying. Oh yeah, Brian is getting into the cab. So here's the thing: is that we right now we're running a bunch of promotions in this program, which will allow a church to almost double what it makes up front. So on retail electricity, those numbers are doubled. I did kind of keep it at the base, and so for those of you who are here tonight, get with the person that invited you. They will talk about some of the bonuses that the organization will get. There's some pretty amazing ones happening right now. I will let the person that invited you. Some questions I get from members: Hey, what if I'm on community solar and I pass away before the 25 years? I said, thank the Lord, you don't have to pay electricity in heaven, so you don't have to worry about that. I get that question like a lot. I really do. So no, you cannot take it to heaven with you. If you go, the somebody else has to sign up. So the other thing is that pastors want to know when people move, when my members move, can they take it with them? As long as they're in the same state, they can take their community solar benefit. They would have to re-sign up for retail energy. Other questions: how do you roll it out? How will we roll it out inside the organization? Well, we have a couple of ways to do it. We have flyers. Sometimes I've had organizations have me come on and do a Zoom that we record with some of the members, or Zoom with the financial board. We record it and then they actually show it. They actually, I've had one church, they have a little kiosk, they show the program and the benefits. And then we have a sign up Sunday. At churches, we do sign up Sundays. It is a fun thing where people bring their bill, they bring what they need, and we have 3 or 4 laptops set up with some of the advisors, and we have sign up Sundays. We have a few churches that just keep doing sign up Sunday, and they sign up members every Sunday after church. So that's really a lot of fun. All right. Any other questions I can answer? It is truly the greatest fundraiser on earth. My church has made 2,300. Is that you, Brian Kimbrough? Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
I love this, and I need to do this more on here because we're rolled out now. We're in it. So share a little bit about your church in Illinois.
Yes, sir. I actually introduced it to the pastor. He signed up, and then we signed the church up. And we had in the beginning, because people wasn't familiar, I think we put in like 22, 25 people. And from that, we raised $2,300. At the time, it was paying $180. And then we've been get a residual every month.
Every month.
So it keeps compounding.
Yeah. And that's
So,
but that's the power of it, right? Because even if it's, even if it's $1,000 that's coming into the church, that's $1,000 where we know that 1,000 was created by helping people. Like that's the incredible part of this, is that if it's $100, it was generated by people saving. And when you can have that conversation, it's a massive conversation to be able to have. So any other questions? Can you sign up commercial businesses? Yes, we can sign up commercial businesses. Small commercial businesses, we can sign up into the program under 40,000 kilowatts, I believe, per year. And then we have it'll be a large commercial after that. We have a different sign up process for that. But yes, you can sign up commercial businesses. And yes, this recording will be available. It'll be out on our YouTube page. And the person that invited you will be able to get that to you. Any other questions?
Yeah, Julius, can you hear me? This is Bishop Rose.
Hey, Bishop, talk to me.
Yeah, listen, just for clarification's sake, when a church participates, is there a 1099 that's issued to the church at the end of the year?
It is. So the church would fill out their W-9, right? So they would put their 50, if it's a 501c, if they have a 501c3 status, they would put that on that. But there will be a 1099 issued at the end of the year for that organization.
And it doesn't jeopardize their 501c3?
It does not. On that W-9, they would just mark their status and put their number, and it wouldn't jeopardize it at all. We actually have some churches that we signed up, and we talked to their financial leader, and he says, no, this is not any different than we would just identify our status, and then we would track what the funds are used for. So they were not, our churches aren't concerned at all.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm not a financial advisor, so I cannot officially give financial advice, but I work with enough organizations at this point that no, it will not affect their status.
All right.
All right. Is the rate dropping at all for the service plans? So there will the rates dropping on retail energy. So retail energy is fixed, and we actually do our fixed rate in markets. We can't guarantee. That's not like our community solar rates, right? Community solar is guaranteed. On our retail energy markets, those rates will, as we buy energy, we are always trying to be competitive, but we can't guarantee that we're always going to be lower in every market. But what we're finding is that our 12 and 36-month rates are actually extremely competitive. But in many of our markets, as soon as we launch Think Smart, I think that we won't have that problem again. And I can't say publicly on a recording that will always be lower, but I think with our Think Smart technology, nobody will have to worry about when it comes to rates with Think Plus. Any other questions? Great questions though, please. I take your questions and I add them to my frequently asked questions for this call. And we are here every week. We will get the recording out for all of my organizations that are going to sign up. Please, once you get signed up, come back, invite your members back. Let your membership hear this. And many of you, I've done calls with your leaders as well. And go ahead and have those conversations. It takes about 2 to 3 calls with the organization so that they can get through this process. Okay, it's not a show them and done. So be okay with a few conversations in order for the organization to get everybody they need to hear it. And then we can go ahead and get ready for their sign up Sunday or their organization launch. Thank you, everybody. My name is Julius Weems, tonight calling you from Weehawken, New Jersey. Look forward to working with all of you. We have a few other things happening tonight, and I want to let everybody know there's also the state of our company call is happening at 8:00 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. It is a highlight of all the things that our company is doing with our CEO. If you would like to get on that, I encourage you to learn about the culture and the heartbeat of our company. So please give it the person that invited you. They can get you that information and it'll be very valuable. Everybody have a blessed night. Thank you for joining us. And remember, always, always go out and let's save and serve in our everyday life. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Julius. Have a good night. God bless.